Bones.
What? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the BPat and Saiffers podcast. We are looking at our new day. Oh, shit. Hold on. Let me reset. I'm just going to. Okay. Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the BPat and Saiffers podcast. Rome just finished up. We're looking at matchups now for May 17th. We got a few smaller tournaments going on before we get to the big dog French Open. Safers is gonna kick us off. Just jump right into the WTA ladies first, as always. We're gonna go down these lists. We're gonna pick just a few matches to go over. Some of them are not even worth taking a look at. So we'll go through all of them though, and we'll let you guys know what we think. So if you want to go ahead and kick us off, Mr. Safe, let's lock them in.
Yes, sir. Thank you, BPat. Yeah, Rome just wrapped up. Pretty happy about how that ended. Not so much about. I mean, the last 2 days were pretty good. From quarterfinals, semifinal to finals. But the first couple rounds sucked. But we did make a start on some of these smaller tournaments, which is what we're gonna discuss today, and hopefully we can start off strong in these tourneys and continue all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
So without further ado, um, WTA Parma in Italy. Um, First match on the board. I don't think it's worth covering. De Giuseppe versus Ibino. So would you like to skip that? I think
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right. Next one, Sinyakova and Towson. I think this is an interesting game. Sinyakova is primarily a doubles player. She's actually one of the best doubles players in the world. And Towson is sort of a young. This is sort of her breakout year. She's pretty good. She won a title this year. I can't. I'm not sold on Towson. She's by far the better player. However, she hasn't been quite rolling on clay just yet. Sinyakova's game is she's really good at the net, thanks to the doubles. But she's just not a very good all round player. There's a lot of aspects of her game that are pretty shitty. So I'm gonna go with the over. Um, what am I looking at? Uh,
The over sits at
are we in
20 and a
Belgrado
half.
or Parma?
You started off with Parma. We can just keep it rolling with Parma.
Oh, okay, sorry. Because yeah, I was looking at lines of Belgrado. All right. So Parma, I guess. Fuck. Um, yeah, I fuck with the over. I find it difficult to imagine that Towson can win this in straights. I feel like this will go three, or we see a tiebreaker. So, very very small lean on Sinyakova money line because I'm not sold on Towson on clay, and I feel like Sinyakova is really motivated these days to get her, her singles career back on track. So, I'm gonna go over 21. Yes, sir.
I actually really
Any
like that.
thoughts?
So I was. This is one of the ones that I didn't really make a pick for. I just kind of breezed through it, peeked at it. Couldn't really pick a side. I didn't think too much about the over under, but I like the over. What you're saying because Sinyakova is predominantly a clay player, and she's really kept my matches really tight. And the only out of all four clay matches, the only one that went under was a 6-4 6-4 loss to Mertens, who Mertens I believe would smack Towson around as well. Um, Towson, like you said, she's been somewhat impressive, but she hasn't really done anything to like prove that she's ready for that next level, that next like step up among the competition. So I think this is solid for over, especially with the dog who has the dog has been playing better competition and has been hanging in there. So I think this is solid here, for the over as well. I think that's the best play out of the spread and over under.
Yeah.
I
I
like
like
that
it
you
even
said that.
more now. No, I like what you said. The dog being the better player on the surface, slightly more experienced, even though her singles game isn't all that. Um, but yeah, I think this is a solid play for sure. One of many overs that I like today in the WTA at least.
Yeah. All right. You want to go ahead and move on?
Uh,
Or actually, before we move on, I was just gonna say that Siniakova's only 2 wins have gone to 3 sets. So I mean, if you're looking for a dog and over here, this isn't a bad opportunity. But yeah, over for sure.
yeah, fair enough. I have the slightest of leans on her +3, which I think is very generous considering she's only a +142 dog. So +3 is pretty generous, but I feel like these games are too small and kind of sort of unpredictable to double dip.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I think, like you said, the total is definitely the play here.
Yeah,
Uh,
most definitely.
all right, moving on. Bum ass Sloane Stevens takes on her American compatriot, Kat Mcnally. Um, I don't think Sloane Stevens should ever lay 4 games in a game of pro tennis ever. Um, Against me, if I played Sloane Stevens, she'd be a slight favorite. That spread would probably be -1.5. I'd probably be like +125, and I'd advise you to take me. I'd probably beat her on a hard court. But anyway, this is Clay against McNally. Um, very tricky because I'm gonna take McNally +4. This is a just like a emotional bet, but McNally hasn't played much except she did pretty good in Charleston on the green clay. Um, but I think she's nice. She has a lot of potential, and Sloane Stevens, man, I'm not buying any of that shit. I think over is also a decent play. But it really isn't out of the books that she just shits a bet or doesn't show up or something.
Yeah.
But I think dog spread and over are two decent plays. I'll probably play one or the other. Maybe not both though.
All right. Well, I'm a fade this matchup to be honest. Just don't really like what I'm seeing from either of these players. But one thing that I'm looking at right now is that Sloane Stevens -4 is at -125, and +4 for McNally is -105. So there could be some potential line movement. It's just right on the edge of moving to a 4.5 game spread, which I think would be worth holding out for if you're somebody who's not too confident in this matchup and is looking to make a play. I would say maybe hold out if you're not comfortable with 4, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. But if you get it, that's a big change considering you would win rather than push at a 4 game difference.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the over might be the move here for me, just in case it goes 3, and um, but I don't, I don't, I don't know. Toughy.
Fade it.
Um, yeah, most likely. Um, I would just love to see Sloane Stevens lose. And McNally, she reps Cincy. I rep Cincy. McNally's like the only tennis player to come out of Cincy in a long time. She's 19 years old. Actually pretty promising. She's one of the American players on the WTA tour that I actually like. Along with Anisimova, they're the same age. Anisimova a bit, not a bit, but way further in her development. But still kind of bums out sometimes. But yeah, watch out for McNally in a couple years. Moving on, another American, Serena Williams takes on Pegatto, and this line actually just popped up. Serena's laying 7.5 games. As expected, she's a minus 2,500 favorite on the money line. Playing a 17-year-old ranked 500 some in the world. I'm gonna tune into this if I can because I need to see Serena pop off
Let her build up
one
some
time.
confidence.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll play that. I mean, fuck, Schweitek covered a goddamn 11.5, which I
I'm not
noticed
touching
you
this,
didn't want to
man.
mention.
I'm not touching this.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not. But I mean, um,
It'll be interesting to see for sure.
I'm just interested to see if she covers that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
play it. Hopefully she does. I mean, she should, in all honesty. But anyway, let's go Serena. Um, Next up is a game that I also might. I think we should pass on. Cato Garcia versus Ormaichia.
Yeah, let's pass it.
Ormaichia.
Skip it.
All right. Bet. All right. AKS versus Williams. Schmidlova versus Venus Williams. These chicks are like 13 years apart or something, maybe even more. But they faced off 4 times. Honestly, even though the score doesn't reflect that in some of the matches. But I remember in the last two meetings, in the French Open last year and Monterrey last year, those were some bangers. Really good tennis. I don't know why it doesn't make sense. Neither of those chicks at the time were anything special or exciting. But I don't know, which makes me lean over. Um, I feel like Venus is really gonna try in this smaller tournament. I don't think she can bum all the way out against Schmid Lobo, someone she's familiar with on clay as well. Last two meetings were on clay. Um, do you have any thoughts on this or?
Not really. I don't really know anything about AKS. And then Venus, I just don't really know where her game's at. Obviously, she's an underdog here, and that's for a reason. All I'm seeing is the money line play, and I don't even have it on my own book. So this is kind of just something I'll probably just pass on. Plenty of other matches I can hop in on.
Yeah, fair enough. But this is a low key banger.
Oh,
I lean 3 sets, so an over if I see a number. I actually don't see a number myself. Um, for a total.
but we I feel like we can probably assume that it's probably in that like 21 and a half range, just since it is such a tight matchup.
Yeah, I'd fuck with it. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of 21 and a half range, we got SST versus Bernard Pera. Really exciting matchup. Two chicks we've actually been seeing a lot of in the clay season thus far. Um, and also two chicks that have been putting in some, encouraging performances, sort of. Nothing too crazy as far as upsets, but very consistent. Solid performances all around for both of these chicks.
Yeah.
I I think the over is an absolute no-brainer here. Like I said, a lot of overs I like today, and this one I love. They met twice before, and there was both this year, Abu Dhabi and Miami, which are both on hard court, and that went to three. But both of these chicks, as proven, are pretty capable on clay, and I think this will be a three-set trifecta for 2021. Um, Now I know you told me you like a side here. I find it really tough, and I might just put 2 or 3 units and on the over and just kind of call it a day. But if I were to pick a side, I would probably um go with SST here. Your thoughts?
So as you know, I would kind of lean Pera, uh, mainly because, like you said, they've met the two times and they've been tight matchups. Pera is just she's better on clay than she is on hard courts. SST is better on hard courts than she is on clay courts, although that's kind of hard to judge based off of, this year based off of record. But SST has played some pretty tough opponents on clay thus far, so that doesn't really speak volumes about where her clay game is at. I just think Pera has been playing well enough on clay that she can get the job done. She's been actually like playing fantastic. She it's kind of hard to judge because she did play Muguruza, and that one went to three. And Muguruza, as we know, wasn't really in her tip-top form. But she took down some good people on the way. Nobody like overly impressive, but Padapova, Samsonova, Zidansek. And then in Madrid, she made it to the second round where she lost in a tiebreak in the third set against Bencic. So I just think Pera is in a little bit better clay form currently. This is going to be a big test for SST because two of her three losses have been against top opponents in Halep and Sabalenka. I just think that Pera's in good enough clay form to at least make it past the first round. That's my say so. But I do like the over, so I might double dip dog and over here.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I feel like you can't go wrong with the over, and I feel like there are arguments to be made for either Pera or any. I think it'll be a close one, tough to call. Last two meetings, SST 1 and 3. Maybe we should expect the same. Who knows?
I think
But yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
Pera has the potential to win in two, but I don't think SST has the potential to win in two. If that makes any sense to you.
yeah. That's fair.
If
Yeah,
if
fair
it
enough.
were
Um,
to only be two sets, but I think we'll definitely see the over hit here. Um, and I think I'll go 1 unit each that way, because I feel pretty good about my Pera pick, and it doesn't you haven't like you're not super confident in SST, so that kind of keeps me away from. I don't have to crack the safe, as we say.
yeah, no, fair. Yeah, no, good points. I know you low key have a thing for Bernard Pera. I'm not quite sure what it is.
I'm on the train.
Um, yeah, yeah, ride that thing, man.
It's really been overs
All right,
for her
last.
that have been my bread and butter, and that was coming back in Madrid.
Yeah, no, she is the low key an over queen.
She's the female Nishikori.
Yeah, no, fair, 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 fair.
All right.
Um, nice to see her, sort of having a resurgence. But anyway, yeah, let's move on.
We got one
Last
more
game in
matchup.
Parma.
Yep.
Yeah, Mikhail versus Camilla Giorgi. Um, really interesting matchup. Automatic automatic response to this was over. But I think I'm gonna rock with a side here. Oh, do you want to guess what it is?
Um, yes, but give me just like 2 seconds. I'm just trying to pull up the info that I normally look at for these matchups, because I this is one of the ones
All
that I
right.
didn't really pick a side. So let me see. The line is sitting at where we at -2.5. Are you looking at money line or game spread for your potential pick?
Um, this gives it away, but spread.
Spread. Then yeah, that would be Georgie.
Yeah, it is Georgie. Kind of sticky situation. I lean the favorite and over.
I see.
But two and a
I see
half
why
can
though.
get done and over. Um, I don't know, man. Georgie in Italy. She's an Italian chica. We saw her in Rome. We saw her in Rome against SST, where she was like a massive underdog and really came to play. She's like one of them Italian to the core chicks, sort of like Sara Irani. Take a lot of pride representing Italy in these uh Italian events. So I really want to back her. I want to see her win. Michaela's so up and down. Don't really know what to expect. I don't feel good about either pick, but I want to make them picks if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Really weird. But I lean the over and Georgie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tough one though.
For me, looking at the over under, I wouldn't really. I don't think there's anything that jumps out from my perspective as like I need to hop on this like immediately. So I'll probably stay away from that. If I did pick a side, I would probably look towards Georgie as well. As you said, Mikhail is like really back and forth. She doesn't win that many. She hasn't really won that often at all. She's been pretty poor this year on clay. She has been losing to some very like subpar opponents. And Georgie by all means has not done too much either. But she's kind of faced some tougher opponents and kept them fairly close with SST. She lost to Swiatek in Melbourne, 6-2, 6-4, but we obviously can see what Swiatek is really doing right now. So that's yeah. And then Towson beat her 6-3, 6-1. Samsonova. So I don't know. Both of these girls are kind of bums in my opinion. If I was gonna pick a side, I would go Georgie against the games, but I'm not touching it. I think
No, I agree. Only thing, um, I'm gonna go over. That will be my. I'll actually play that. I just decided right now, as you were speaking. Um, I'll play the over 20 and a half. Nice number, not too big. Um, yeah, but yeah, I feel like Georgie's gonna show up at home, and try and play here against a not so good opponent in a smaller this round. But also Mikhail good wins. In qualies, Leila Fernandez in Rome, pretty good win. She beat Sara Errani in Charleston. Um, Decent win, I'd say. And taking Osorio Serrano, who was really hot in the early parts of the clay season, to 3 sets and 2 tiebreaks. Pretty impressive. But yeah, two bums. I go over.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I'm a fade,
and I
but
think that wraps it up for Parma.
yeah. Let's move on to Belgrade.
All right, Belgrado.
So I only have
All right.
actually.
Speaking of the devil,
Oh, sorry.
yeah. Sorry.
I was gonna say I
No,
only
go.
have 3 of these matchups in my book, which is kind of odd, considering there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's like 8 or 9. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna let you just jump through them, and then I'll kind of look as we go.
All right. All right. Cool. I'm not seeing all of the lines either. Um, as you said, there are more games on the schedule than my book. But anyway, here we go. The first one is actually a decent one. Speaking of the devil, Leila Fernandez versus Hercog. Um, Tough match. I will go over. Again, like I said, a lot of overs I like. Um, I would want to rock with Hercog, but she's kind of expensive, and having thought about it a little bit, I feel like this has the potential to go 3 sets. Both of these chicks are so up and down, and feel like they both really have a chance to win this game. So I think um, it'll be fairly close. I lean Hercog and over, sort of like Georgie and over, but I feel like at with such a short favorite, um, doesn't really, it's essentially a pick, a little
Yeah.
bit, not really, but I lean Hercog and over, but I like the over a lot better.
All right. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I kind of just jumped off of, or whenever I was starting to look at it. I see what you're saying in the over. Like you said, it's it is kind of similar to a pick'em, a little bit more juice on the Hercog side for good reason. Um, but yeah, I think if I were to make a play, I'd probably lean Hercog money line. But that would be kind of a stretch for me. I'd probably fade this, but Hercog would be my pick here if I were to hop on it because I see it at 130, minus 130 money line. And Hercog, you never know what you're
Yeah,
gonna
fair
get
enough.
to. So
Yeah, she came through on a small lean I had against Zachary. She covered +5.
I mean, her losses have been against pretty decent opponents: Zvonareva, Pera in 3, Ostapenko, and Sakari, which is, I mean, those are tough.
Yeah, fair. I mean, usually she goes through qualies and then loses in the first round. She didn't have to qualify here. Being a smaller tournament and all. So hopefully she can get her win or two and then bounce. But I don't know. I lean over.
All right,
One of many.
all right. Let's move on to the next one. Are we looking at Putintseva and Juvan?
Yes, man. If Putin Seva doesn't get going here and finally win a game and get back on track, I don't know what the hell is good with her. She was she is one of my favorite players, man. I love her play style. She is, if you think Sabalenka loses her mind or is mentally weak, you should meet my good friend Yulia Putintseva. She has so much talent. She is so good. She can hit all kind of shots. She's like a hybrid between um she's like a Sabalenka and Jabeur put together. So like power game, ball basher, but also a shit ton of finesse to go with it. Dare I even say Barty, very good backhand slice, very good switch ups, can play drop shots, cross court, drop shot into a lob. Really entertaining play. No one likes her because she's super rude and cusses out absolutely everyone. Refs, fans, her opponent, all that shit. She's a little crybaby too, losing racket smashes. Um, but yeah, a lot hasn't been going her way. Um, I think they kind of stopped showing her love, odds wise. I really can't turn down a minus 140, 45, honestly, but I do lean over because Kaya Juvan is honestly not a bad player. Low key, a breakout year for her. Um, Tough first round opponent for Putin Seva, but I know that if she wins this, she'll be feeling good because uh, that is no joke. Putin Seva played a decent game against Goff, lost in three. Um, really surprised. She lost in the first round to Johanna Konta, who's a major bum. Um, but other than that, I don't know. I'd like for her to win this game. Uh, I think she'll win this game. She has to win this game. But I lean over more than I like taking her spread or money line.
Yeah. So this I lean over as well. I know we talked about that a little bit before, not really in depth, but we both mentioned that we were on it. I like the over too. So Juvan, however you say it, she's 0-2 on clay. Both matches have gone to 3 sets. Putintseva, pretty much every time she loses, it goes to 3 sets. Rather or except for in Madrid, which I mean we shouldn't even be looking at that because Putintseva is more than likely going to win this matchup. Uh, but yeah, I don't really see her dominating like she has in just only a couple matches. She's won in straights in Charleston, but that's really about it. Those were against pretty low tier opponents, I'd say. Um, I just think this is, I don't want to say a fair like an even matchup, but I think this has enough potential to go the distance that the over is a solid pick here. So yeah, I'm rocking with the over too. But that's really all I have to say about this matchup.
Yeah, fair. Actually, really excited for this game. The more I think about it, the more I want to put sort of more units on Putin Seva and maybe forget the over or play less on the over. Um, like I said, I'm a tennis fan first, sports better second, especially when it comes to the chicks I like. And she has to win this game. Um, before Paris. So I'll see, but I'm definitely Putin Seva and over can't go wrong. I'm with you.
Yeah, I know. I see the value there too. I see minus 140 on my book, which is not too bad. But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Me.
Oh my bad.
All
I,
right.
I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off.
No. I was just gonna say yeah. Minus where the fuck did she go? Yeah, minus 145 for me. Kind of juicy, but um, yeah, I might take it. Anyway, moving on. Kovanic and Buska. Would you like to skip?
Yeah, I'm down to skip that. I don't see it on my book, and I haven't even looked at the matchup. So
All right. Maria Osorio Serrano versus Zang. Would you like to skip?
would you like to skip?
Yes.
Yes. I don't want to say
All right.
yes to a
This
lot of
next
these,
one.
but okay.
No, I would like to skip. Poor matchup. I feel like Osorio Serrano is. I just don't see value on either of the games. Um, Osorio Serrano is minus like 230, minus four tricky line, and the over under is pretty sharp. 20 and a half. Um, I don't know. Osorio Serrano had all the momentum in the world, but has sort of kind of been declining ever so slightly. But she was playing at such a high level for maybe 2 or 3 tournaments back to back, which is only natural that her level sort of dips. Um, but yeah, um, tricky, and Kovanic as well, a bit of a question mark against Bukska. So
Yeah.
yeah. Moving
Let's skip
on to
those.
Jorovic and Tomjanovic. I know that you won't want to skip this, so why don't you go ahead?
Okay. Let me do this real quick. Let me pull this up. Okay. So, from looking at this, I kind of dig the under here. Um, Tomjanovic
Tomjanovic.
Tomjanovic. Okay, got it. Tomjanovic, she hasn't been all that impressive, but she hasn't been too bad either. She lost in Rome in the second round to Ostapenko, after beating Martinkova, Sigmund, and Vondrasova. Knocked out in the first round of Madrid after running through the qualies, pretty easily. Her opponent Djorovic has only played one match all year, whether it be clay hard, any grass, indoor hard. And it
Yeah.
was on clay. She lost in 3 sets to an opponent that I had never even heard of, and upon looking more into it, it was the number 350 ranked player. I just think I already forgot how to say her name. Tom. I think Tom here is just gonna kind of steamroll Djorovic. I think this will be a straight set victory. That's why I'm looking at under 19.5 for -110. I don't really want to fuck with the game spread, just because I feel like the under here. We'll see. We could see a 6-3, 6-4, and that'll get the job done. So yeah, I think I'm rocking with the under here.
Yeah, fair enough. Tomjanovic, super low key has been pretty hot. Even though she's been having a really shitty year. But yeah, she seems to be enjoying her clay game thus far. Madrid and Rome, not Madrid and Rome, sorry, not too bad. Madrid maybe not too much, but Rome, three impressive wins. And in the qualies, Martin Silva and Siegmund, those are two good wins in 3 sets. And beating a top 25, top 30 player, Vondrousova, pretty easily is also pretty impressive. Usually I fade Tomjanovic. I mean, she's super sexy.
I was gonna say when you said she was hot
But
earlier, I was like, yeah, damn right, she's hot. And I know even though you were talking about her game, but
yeah, no, she is a body, but I don't know, man. 19 and a half could be a move for sure. She's definitely snapping, and I definitely see uh a lot of value in that. Only thing is, Jorovic is from Belgrade. You can't look past these things, BPat. You never know what can happen when someone's playing at home. They might snap and play out of their minds. Even though that's super unlikely, and even though Tomjanovic isn't like really, really, really good, I definitely do see value here. I might tell you on that. I honestly I was entirely neutral on this game, so I might rock with you.
sweet, let's do
Yes,
it,
sir.
under gang. Except we're over on
Let's
every
get it.
other one.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, as far as the rest of the matchups go for Belgrado, there's not really anything. None of the other ones are on my book, but I'm more than happy to talk about any of them if you're liking any of them. One thing I just wanted to point out was the Pavlyuchenkova line. She's -7.5. Another one of those matchups similar to Serena. That would be interesting just to keep up with, just to see where that kind of falls. But yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to hop on any of the other matchups, I'm more than happy to talk.
I would have liked to look at Anaconia versus AVU, except I'm not seeing lines for that.
I can read them off to you if you want.
AVU is. Oh yeah, you see lines for that.
Just I use Bovada as kind of a benchmark. So what I'm seeing is Konya is a -4.5 favorite for the games, -300 money line, and the over under is 20.5.
Mm, AVU hasn't played all year. Since the Australian Open. Madrid qualies lost. That was sort of, she hasn't played a main draw match since the Australian Open. Um, I don't know, man. I kind of fuck with that under. I mean, even though Anaconio, um, I don't know what's good with her. She always like just doesn't even show up for the first set, and then, um, kind of wins from behind. But I don't know. Yeah, shitty matchup. I'm cool to skip the rest of the games in Belgrade. We got Sasnovich versus Ji Wang, Yanni versus Martin Silva, and the Pavlyuchenkova game. Um, but yeah, very ill, very yucky matchups. would you like to move on to the ATP?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's wrap up the WTA. Some good matchups. Some interesting ones to just keep my eye on, just so I can kind of see where these players' levels are at. Yeah, I'm more than ready to move on to the ATP now.
Yeah, it's a shame, especially in a smaller tournament. It's a shame to see uh, really good first round matchups because, like, when both of those players in the first round, sort of possess the quality to make some noise in these tournaments, it's a shame that we will only get one of them moving forward. Whereas in other matchups in the first round, you have two absolute no names. But anyway,
Yeah,
I always have a problem with the draw. It's so like I don't think it's random. Like they need to fix it. There must be a way to like fix it. But anyway, moving on to the ATP. Let's go to Geneva, Switzerland. Um, First game on the board is Manarino versus Cacao. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
gotcha.
Kazo, maybe Kazo. Your thoughts, sir?
Oh, okay. So this was when I was just skimming through. I put down that I kind of like the Manarino money line -120. The reasoning behind that is really just the experience and the level of play that they've played against. One thing that kind of makes me hesitate is that I'm gonna call him Kachow. He's
Kazo.
Kazo. I'm sorry, Kazo, and his couple opportunities to play against some better players, he kept it close, and although he's ranked 518 in the world, he beat Korda in straights, and he lost to Papirin 7-5, 7-6, where in the second tiebreak he got rolled to 0, which that's kind of embarrassing. But I mean, a good showing from a player of his caliber. Um, in his smaller tournaments, he tends to just run the table. Um, Made it to a final in one, and then the next time it was a walkover before the match even began. But other than that, he won in straights in all of his wins. And then in Madrid, he didn't make it out of qualies, but he played some quality players and showed up a little bit. But I just think Manarino is just the more experienced player. Although he has lost 5 straight, I think this is his chance to just get a win and get on the right track. So if I do play it, it'll probably be a 1 unit play. I just think the money line here is -120 is not too bad for the way this matchup is.
Yeah, fair enough. All French matchup. Manarino was really, really good last year in 2020 post COVID. Um, he was actually pretty impressive in the U.S. Open and also in a lot of like high level ATP draws. Kazo, I'm not aware of at all. Um, excuse me. Tricky matchup in my opinion. I don't have much to say. I think Manarino has fallen off a little bit this year, sort of bumming out. And Kazo might, be on the rise. 18 years old. Not familiar with him, but it sounds like it could be close. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it could for
Toughy,
sure. Definitely tough.
toughy for me. All
All
right.
right, ready to move on?
Next one on the board in Geneva. Is a game that got postponed. That was on my card yesterday. I don't want to go over it too much. I'm on the Tenny Sandgren and Caru show over 22.5, which I feel really good about. So yeah. Next up, Andujar versus Jordan Thompson, JT. Uh, when I brought this up to you earlier before we hopped on this, you said it's two bums facing off against each other. Andujar really needs to get going. Honestly, I would like to rock with him -2.5, but or -3 now. Fuck. Um, but I don't know. I kind of lean over and I kind of lean Pablo on the spread, which makes me just wanna stay off this. In all honesty,
Nothing
but
wrong
I
with that.
think potentially, I don't know, Tuffy. Andujar needs to win. He needs to get back on track, and yeah, I mean Thompson's the kind of player that just sort of troubles everyone. Like he won't go away, but you'll beat him in the end. Um, but I don't know. Tough it. I might pass. I really don't like the Geneva games.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna
happy to
pass
go
here
through
too.
through 'em.
I'm gonna pass here too. Just
All right,
based off of Andujar, I think he'll definitely. I think he should win this for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking games, especially since I don't know much about him. But yeah, let's move on.
all right, cool. Next up, Fuxovic versus Martin Fuxovic versus Christian Garin. Surprised that these two dudes showed up to this tournament. Um, um, Garin, man, looks so good in the first round, absolutely stomps, does it again in the second round, and then just breaks your heart, man. Um, and like it's not that he's playing better players. I mean, he's a quality player.
Yeah.
He just doesn't show up from round to round. I don't know, like what you saw yesterday is a different player almost. Fuchsovic's started off the clay season really bad. Started off 2021 really good on the hard court for the longest. Like I mentioned on a previous podcast, I did actually double check this fact. He's in the top five most games played in main draw ATP matches for 2021 so far. But anyway, his clay performance has getting a little better. He took team to 3 sets. He actually played really, pretty good throughout that match until the third set where he got bageled, which just kind of
And I
threw me the
think
fuck off.
if I remember correctly, he was up 3-0 in the second set as well after winning the first, and then team just came back and rolled him. No, I was wrong.
Yep,
3-1,
exactly.
3-1, 3-1.
No, he was up a break. He was up a break
Yeah.
and up a set, and then ended up losing the set and losing the match in a 6-0 fashion in the third, which
Talk about a
like
collapse.
what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, like seriously. But yeah, before that, yeah, really shitty on clay, except he gave Nishioka a 6-0, 6-2, which I thought was like, oh, okay. Um, I did take Fuxovics plus 4.5 against team, which cashed so close. I'm so glad he didn't need to win a game going into the third because he didn't. But anyway, Garin, I don't know what the fuck is good with him. I don't know what the fuck is good with either of these players. I'm scared to go over because both of these dudes can just say, all right, fuck you, fuck tennis. Let's get this over with. So I'm gonna just rock with the better player. I'm gonna take Garin minus the games. Hopefully he doesn't do anything crazy. That's just a lean. I don't know if I'll play it. But that's what I would rock with here.
Yeah. So before I was kind of 50-50 on whether I'd want to even make a play on this. But listening to you talk about it and looking over both these guys' recent play, Garin is definitely the better player here. Has much more quality of wins. Fuchsovic, he did take team to 3, got bageled in the third, but at the same time, team isn't really playing his best tennis right now. And then prior to Rome, Fuchs, he lost to Bublik in straights, lost to Sonego in straights, and I think if Garin wins the first set, I don't see him not winning the second set. To be completely honest, the only time that the only 2 times where he hasn't, after winning the first set, in the last 2 tournaments, the only time that he's slipped up a little bit is against Medvedev, who's obviously a great player. He lost the second set in a tiebreak, and then breadsticked him in the third. That was a win for him, and then he won the first set against Berrettini, and then lost the next 2 sets. But I mean, those are 2 high quality players. I think Garin, if he jumps out, takes the first set, I think he's rolling for a straight set victory. So I think if I was gonna make a play, like you said, just a lean. Not sure if I'll play it, but I would take either Garin against the games or money line minus 145.
Yeah, fair enough. He needs to win this. He's a better player, better on clay.
Oh, it just moved to
And
-2.
oh, for real?
Yeah, at least that's what I'm
Yo,
looking
that's a
at.
move. That's a move, honestly.
I like that too.
But anyway, moving on, a game where we both feel pretty comfortable with what we like. Dominic Kofer versus Benoit Paire. Um, Baez is a bum ass. I don't think he can win a set here. Um, I'm gonna go 2-0 Dominic Kofor, which is only minus 115. Like is a bargain, honestly. Excuse me. I don't know when the last time Bayer won a set. Oh, he won a match. He won two sets. In Madrid against Basel. A pretty decent opponent. But I mean, other than that, he's just been so bad. Really bad. Does crazy shit. Uh, you know, easy fade, easy 2-0 every time Benoit plays.
Yeah. Since my book doesn't have the 2-0, which I need to change books. We've talked about this. But I do like the under here, under 21.5, minus 115. Like you said, Kofor should win this in two sets. Paeta is just hot dog water, so I expect this to be not really a close matchup at all. Kofor should win this pretty comfortably. And yeah, I think he'll keep it under. I think we're looking at a 20 to or 21 game match, maybe even worse. So worse for Paeta. So yeah, I like the under here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't go wrong with that. Honestly, honestly.
Dog water,
Um,
man. Paeta is straight dog water. 2 and
yeah,
12 on the
booty.
year overall.
Yeah, that's just embarrassing. Honestly, so embarrassing. Um, but anyway, Madden Cilic versus Striker. Now you said you like something in this game. I think these lines are sus. Cilic being like a, respectable, uh, player on the tour versus a no name. Minus 4.5. That seems kind of sus. I mean, we've seen like I don't know. Um,
I know what you mean.
but yeah, go ahead.
Um, so yeah, like you said, minus 4.5 would be kind of where my head would be at with Cilic. I know exactly what you're saying. This is kind of a sus matchup. Just based off the line should be it would be more realistic for it to be like a minus 5.5 if something wasn't off. So yeah, there might be something that's going on that we don't really have insight into. But my reasoning with Cilic is similar to some of the other players that I tend to lean towards is the quality of play, the quality of opponents as well. He's playing against some of the best players in the world, while Stricker has yet to do so. In Stricker's last two matches, he's lost to a player that is completely unranked, and he lost to another 19-year-old who is ranked 786 in the world. Both of those, or one of those being in three sets, the other one being in he lost the first set and then retired immediately after. I just think that although this does seem like a little bit of like a bait and switch kind of line, I think Cilic should get the job done fairly quickly. It's a big test for Stricker. Obviously, if he comes out and does something or keeps it close or even wins, that would be huge for him. But I think the level of play here is just it heavily favors Cilic, so that's kind of where I'm at. But you think you're
Yeah,
gonna
fair
fade this
enough.
one or?
Yeah, I think so. But just to add to what you're saying, this is sort of like Jorovic versus Tomjanovic, where Jorovic is the hometown Gael in Belgrade. Striker here is the hometown dude in Geneva. He's Swiss, so like I don't know, like being a smaller tournament at all in your hometown. I think the the books are sort of giving them a slight advantage, so which is why we see like favorable lines for the Tomjanovic under and the Cilic spread. But
Yeah.
this is a pass for me. Um, although I think it's a good play. That is two little games in my opinion.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, Another
Um,
thing is that the under's at 21. That might be a decent look, but I think that I like the games a little bit better here. But nothing wrong with staying away from this one too. If you're not too confident, I'm not too confident either. So I haven't locked anything in yet. I'm definitely gonna think this over. But that's just where my head's at. So yeah, we can go ahead and move on to the next matchup.
all right. That's actually it for Geneva.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on. to Lyon in France. Bedin versus Simon. Would you like to skip this game?
I'm more than happy to skip this one.
All right. Next up we had FAA versus Sonego, which would have been a bang, but Sonego is still sort of hungover from his run in Rome, and he withdrew from this tournament. FAA actually plays Musetti tomorrow, which should be a banger.
Yeah, tight lines on that one.
Yeah, Mute versus Cam Nori. Low key a first round banger. Surprised to see Nori at -130, but having thought about it, Mute is playing on home turf and already pulled off some decent wins already this year. He beat Shapovalov, which I think looking at the level that Shapovalov played in Rome, I think it is impressive. Although he was sort of bumming out in Portugal when they played in Estoril. However, um, I would normally say that Nori being -130 on the money line is a gift of a spread, but I'm gonna do a big dick play and take Mute on the money line. I feel like he
Wow.
pulls this off. Um, don't want to fuck with the over because Nori versus ADF. I watched that game and I was in so much pain watching Nori serve and just play tennis. Really, in all honesty, watching him play tennis made was very uneasy on the eye. So I'm gonna rock with Mute at home. I think he'll be up for the occasion for sure. Why the fuck not? I feel like the books agree with me. Maybe a trap, who knows? But 1 unit on a dog at home. Um, I fuck with it.
Nothing wrong
Really
with
do.
that. So for me, I actually
Lean over.
I have
Gotta say
I
lean
have
over. Sorry, go ahead.
Nori. Okay, and over. Okay, so I was actually looking at Nori here. Like you said, this is like, I mean, personally, I see this as like kind of like a toss up matchup. Looking at the recent play, that both of them have lost to the same opponent in their last two losses. Um, and somewhat in similar fashion, the only thing that kind of stands out is Nori against ADF getting absolutely pummeled. And then against Ramos Vinoles, uh, Mute just he got kind of smacked up too in Estoril. And it's crazy because both those losses for each of them came in the same tournament, which is funny. But I just think Nori is the better player. Mute has been in pretty decent form, like you said, beating Shapovalov, and he beat Dan Evans in Barcelona, beat Koffer in straights in Barcelona as well. So yeah, I think this one's a little bit of a coin flip. I don't think I'm gonna play this one, but I think if I was going to, maybe Nori. But now that you're mentioning Mute, I might just fade it altogether. But Nori moneyline would be my play, my pick.
Yeah, I think there's a good case to be made for dog and over here. Yeah, dog and over should be good, but I love an upset here, so I might just lay some on the plus money dog and
Call it a day.
hope for a nice little upset. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, what's up next?
And so moving on, Nishioka versus Ugo Umber. Another game featuring a Frenchie. Ugo Umber as well, another player that was really impressive last year post COVID, and then sort of fell off this year. He was hanging with the big dogs last year. I don't know if you peeped some of those games. I know there it feels like it was ages ago now. But
Maybe a
yeah,
little bit.
Umber was um, he was hanging with the gorillas, as I like to say. Um, but this year, no, not very impressive. Um, Nishioka, kind of like a up and down player. Really tricky. I might pass this matchup just because like both of these players remain to be a question mark. But I would lean Ugo and Bear -3. Should be should be motivated to crush at home and get going here, but um, I don't trust him enough. And Nishioka remains unpredictable from game to game. So
Yeah.
it's a small lean slash pass for me.
Yeah, I think I'm literally in the exact same boat as you. Something I'll probably stay away from, but But for sure, I think there is a solid little play here in Humbert -3. More so in that, yeah, Humbert. Well, okay, so yeah, Humbert hasn't really been doing too much. He hasn't played very well at all recently. But more so would make me lean this way is Nishioka's awful, like piss poor play over the last few tournaments. When he loses
Yeah,
bad. He loses real bad.
so bad.
Um, but yeah, that's really the main factor here in my opinion. So I'm in the exact same boat. We'll probably fade this, but if I do play it, that'll be my pick -3.
Yeah. Sounds good. I might fuck with it. Who knows? If my card is looking kind of light or kind of heavy, who knows how it's gonna look once I put it together? I may add or remove some things that I'm not too high on, but his -3 might be making an appearance. Maybe not though. All right, final game of Lyon. Another Frenchie, Herbert versus Sebastian Corda, Seb Corda. This my case here is exactly the same reasoning for taking Mote over Nori. I'm gonna rock with the hometown dude versus the guy that's the better player, but also been bumming out a little bit. Corda had the tournament of his career in Miami, which was the last hardcore tournament before the clay season. Corda in Miami, he beat Fognini. He beat Karatsev in straights, and he beat Smallman in three sets, which was really impressive. Eventually lost to Rublev, which is no slouch, as we all know. 7-5, 7-6, Rublev won, which is pretty impressive. Korda definitely played well. But then on clay, he is yet to win a
Buns.
game. I believe he's 0-3.
And
Lost to some really, really bad players.
he lost to
Um,
however you say his name, Kazao.
Kazo.
Kazo. He lost to him in straights.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Like I don't think you can go wrong with our good friend Herbert here. I know I'm not pronouncing that like a Frenchman, but I think Herbert is the move here. Plus 105, really identical lines to the Nori and Mute match. So I'm gonna go with dogs in both. Very, very short dog, plus money Frenchies. Um, yeah, should be good. I'm not gonna fuck with the over on this game. I feel like Korda can really bum out. So actually really like Herbert on the money line, whereas Mute Nori, dog and over sort of 50-50 there. But
You've kind
yeah.
of convinced me. I didn't really take much of a glance at this matchup, but now that I look at how bad Korda has been on clay and how much he's lost in straights to two opponents that I've never even heard of prior to today, in his last two matchups, and then lost to Badin uh, in three sets, just absolutely unacceptable for a player of his caliber. Um, as were Herbert, I'm gonna say it like that. He's got some wins here and there. He's lost to some good opponents in ADF, ARV. He did lose to Goffin in Barcelona, which isn't is a pretty bad loss. But I mean, he's starting to like pick up the form a little bit. It's getting better with each tournament. Knocked out in the second round in Barcelona, second round in Estoril. Prior to that, knocked out in the qualies in Monte Carlo, but in Madrid he made it to the first round, where he lost to ADF. Pretty tough draw for him, but I think there is value for him at home, and I think he's just in better form. So I think those kind of stacked on top of each other, also with him being a dog, makes this a great play.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. Thank you for putting it so eloquently.
No problem.
But yeah, Korda, I feel like he's still extremely overvalued after his insane run in Miami, and I feel like he's still sort of getting props and respect for that when he shouldn't be. Honestly, maybe if we look back at it, maybe that was a fluke. Fuck, considering his recent form. But I mean, on clay, there's no justification for his price. Our good friend Pierre Herbert should take care of business. I think.
Yeah, I agree,
Yeah,
100%.
let's go. Usually I hate the Frenchies, man. But I don't know. There's some prideful motherfuckers, so hopefully they show up to this Lyon tournament and
I
we
love
get
that you're
some.
calling them the Frenchies. That's hilarious.
Uh, yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean, Benoit Paire, he's not here. He's in Switzerland. Um, I'm good with him. He sucks though. Manarino's also in. Damn, there's a lot of Frenchies. I mean, there's a lot here in Lyon. I feel like every game features a.
Hello? You kind of cut out on me.
No.
I couldn't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, every game features a Frenchie tomorrow in Lyon, which is cool to see. Simon, Moutet, Humbert, and our good friend PH Herbert. Um, but anyway, that is all for tomorrow. Some good games, some really bad games. I like with what we have though. I definitely feel like we can have um, a very good day one slash day two in these tournaments.
Definitely. I'm so happy we did this today because I was kind of in like there were so many matches and like prior to speaking it was kind of like, oh my gosh, like what do I even think about playing? But now that we've gone through them, this helps me every time. I can better like visualize the matchup and really see what things have value and what things don't. Because beforehand, sometimes I'll think something has value, but you kind of explain it a little bit more in depth to me, and that kind of opens up my mind a little bit and gives me a better perspective.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I need a fresh perspective every time. My thinking sometimes gets so clouded, and I just um, yeah. I mean, this is. I'm happy to help you, and you help me more than you would think. So,
Perfect.
uh, cheer, cheers to the podcast.
Yes,
But
sir.
I don't know though, Loki. I think you should be paying me for my services, no? You should be paying me.
Okay. You pay for yourself. You get enough units on your own.
Fair enough. Honestly,
I make up for it
um,
in company. I just give you company while you talk tennis.
yeah, no. It's a lot more than that. Come on,
I'm
don't.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right, yeah. Really excited. I mean, these tournaments don't quite hit the same as having like one big one, like Rome, Madrid.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what we need after the way Rome went. And yeah, we should sort of kind of get used to weeks like this, until the end of the month, where it should be absolutely insane. If you think this is a lot of games, wait for the French Open day one and day two, bro. You're not gonna be able to sleep. You might be so overwhelmed looking at the games. You might just say no.
I'm
You
I'm
might just say no. I'm
I'm
good.
not ready. Yeah, I'll catch you next week.
Yeah, bro. Like what? This is maybe So how many games are on the board tomorrow in these four tourneys?
So out of ones that we
Um,
went in depth
like
with, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 16 is what we really like went in depth with. Those are the ones that I'm gonna put on screen and all that with our picks. And
all
this
right.
this is about an hour. So what is it? 4 times that?
What in the French Open day one?
Yeah, you said 64 matchups.
Yeah, 64 matchups in each of the 2 days.
Oh,
Can you imagine that?
oh my goodness. We're
So
definitely
like
gonna have to
so
fast
like
track
day
that.
day one and day two of the first round, 128 matches, bro. Like don't tell me that this is a lot. Um, because you would love a slate like this. And I mean that draw will be stacked, especially the chicks. I
Yeah.
mean, like, and I know like you're gonna be familiar. Like, there's gonna be 128 players in the draw. I feel like you're honestly gonna be familiar with at least 100 of them,
I
at
hope
least.
so.
Because even the qualies are gonna be nice. The qualifiers should be pretty good. But yeah, the qualifiers are 3 rounds, bro. The qualifying tournament for RG takes a whole week before the tournament. You got to win 3 matches in a row to qualify, which is so intense.
Yeah.
Um,
So before let's kind of wrap this up, but before we finish up talking on the podcast, I just want to throw out a couple matchups that we're gonna have like tomorrow. just to get them out there. So we got the FAA, of course, Musetti. We've got Karatsev and Sinner. That's gonna be a banger.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we've also got one that I was looking at was Martic, and who is she playing? Martic and Gracheva. The line's at -4 right now for Martic. I was just gonna throw it out there. I kind of like that. But yeah, there's some good matchups lined up for the next day of matches. So I'm pretty excited for that. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think after the conclusion of tomorrow's games, they might add like 2 or 3 more matchups for the second round. Not sure though, but yeah, there's some good ones. To add to the ones you said, Golf Kanepi. I don't think you can sleep on that. Stojanovic, Peterson, very, very even match. Kalinskaya, Mladenovic, also pretty even.
Hmm.
We get to see Badosa play. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and 2 bangers in Lyon, FAA Musetti and Karatsev and Sinner.
awesome.
Wow,
I look forward to it, man.
absolutely, absolutely. As always, bro, pleasure speaking to you.
The pleasure is all
Yeah,
mine.
let's fucking get it.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're keeping the ball rolling. This is our 8th episode. We've been consistent. We've been keeping up with it, other than me not uploading the episode last night on time. But we're keeping the ball rolling. We're getting to it, and we're having good talks, and we're killing it. So
Yeah, getting
appreciate you, man.
better. As long as you're learning and we're enjoying ourselves and this is beneficial to not only ourselves but to others. I think that's good enough. If we're helping people make money, then that's even better, I think.
Most
So,
definitely,
hell
most
yes.
definitely. All right, that's gonna do it for
Hell
our
yes.
episode 8. Best of luck to everybody on this beautiful Monday. Lock your picks in. Do what you got to do. As always, our picks are going to be posted in the Bearded Betters Discord link in the description, as well as on both of our Twitters. So go ahead and check those out. Give us a follow, and yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you guys for coming out. Any closing notes for you?
No, best of luck. I know this week isn't as exciting, on paper being like 2 no-name tournaments, but money is money, tennis is tennis, profit is profit. Should be good nonetheless. Maybe even better than last week, huh?
Couldn't have said it better.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace out, everybody.
See ya.